Hello, hello, and good morning from O.G.Starwars channel. And we do have some breaking news going on here. And thank you to Stig for finding this information. And it is about the Knights of the Old Republic comics and being printed together in one omnibus here. So Stig, I again thank you so much for providing this for us. And I do have a few people here that trickled in so far. And so Jaden Core, so long as it remains in the original form, any exposure to EU is given is a win. The stronger canon will stand on its own. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. So that's what.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna tamper with it because I've never heard of people retroactively, tampering with a comic.
Yeah. And if they were going to tamper with any of them, we would have seen it in all the other reprints so far.
Yeah, because they were re-released in 3 omnibuses a few years ago.
Yeah. And the Sentinel, what does that mean? It means my wallet is about to take a beating.
Yeah, but the 3 omnibuses I bought were paperbacks.
Yeah.
It's the Epic collections. And they cost between $35 and $40 when they were new.
Yeah.
So that times 3, and you get pretty much around the same prices that they're charging for this one. Only this one is hardcover, so more durable, right?
Yeah.
And it says a oversized hardcover. So I'm wondering. Well, it's not oversized because of the pages. I'm thinking maybe it's like really big.
Yeah.
Physically big.
Yeah, like thick as in big, like because it is.
Yeah, or tall.
Tall, and then yet yeah. So I get what it's saying. It's probably going to be bigger than the other collections that they printed, in size, in thickness, and width. So width and height.
Yeah, and the message below where it says coming July 20, is that the Mandalorian language?
That is Arabish. Or was it Arabish? That's the basic the language, the script.
Oh, okay.
Alphabet. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
so
this
as far as I know,
this series is very tied to Mandalorians.
Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and we'll get into more of that. Let me just see who else is here. Okay, all right, forgot to read this one. Like, oh my gosh, you're like here and stuff. All right, thank you, Matt G. Totally. Oh my gosh. All right. And we do have Kip, Alice, hail folks. And then Lord Vader, hello. And Snell, was it Snell Messiah? Snell's onto a head of broccoli, munching while listening to the nice people in that magic window. Well, I'm glad you are watching, Mr. Snail. Zaggerot 315, howdy O.G.Starwars, howdy Stig Kenobi, hello everyone. And Ulik Qual Droma is greater than Revan. Okay, so there we go. There's a debate right there.
You know what? I'm not going to debate that because they're both awesome. And frankly, I don't remember too much about Keldroma. I need to read up on that because it's ages since I read it. Which
there's some of us that are revisiting everything. We're like, yeah, remember it, but we need to go revisit it again.
I mean, how well do you remember a book or something you read 20 years ago, right?
Correct. Yeah.
You just remember the basics at best.
Yeah. Exactly. So Stig is the one. If you guys are just tuning in right now, I do have a few people dropping in, and that's great. This is a breaking news, so I hardly do this stuff. So this was a last minute decision, and Stig's like, "We need to announce this. We should do this." And I'm like, "Cool, let's do this."
Yeah, because this is what Alora and I are all about, and well, others too. It's the EU, right? Preserving the George Lucas canon and all that. And when we get stuff like this, the few times we get EU news these days, we kind of need to do what we claim we do. and
Exactly.
support it.
Yeah, we need to announce it, support it,
Yeah.
discuss it, and what does that mean for Legends, and what does that mean maybe for overall like lore on both sides, if it means anything or if there's theories or whatever. So thank you, Dave Meyers, one of my channel members. I appreciate you for coming in and kicking back with us while we discuss this. Thank you so much. And Miss Martin Muses, hello, Teresa.
Hello, Miss Martin.
Yeah. And let's see here. And does anyone know a link where we can pre-order it?
Nope.
I didn't look just yet. So
there's no link yet.
it's just an official announcement kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't take a look. I was getting out of the shower, and so I pulled myself together. And Sting's like, we need to do this. And I'm like, okay, let's do it then. Taking a break from homework and life.
Side note, I hope it's not fake news.
I know, right? If it's fake news, then you know what? It is fake news. But
yeah, if it's fake news, we fell for it. There's worse things.
Yeah, there's worse things. Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and look at release of the Knights of the Old Republic. Let's see.
I have a theory about this.
Okay, go ahead and give it while I look.
Well, last year there was talk about a remake of Knights of the Old Republic, the game, and someone had tried to make a fan-made remake, but Disney shut it down.
Okay.
And EA just did a remaster for the Mass Effect trilogy, which was made by BioWare, who also made Knights of the Old Republic. And that, Mass Effect is very similar to Kotor, really.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're re-releasing this because the rumors about the remastered Knights of the Old Republic might have been true. But here's the bad part. In those same articles, it also said that they would tweak the game to make it fit with Disney canon.
Yeah.
Which means if it's true, they will be pissing all over the Knights of the Old Republic game. There's no other way around it, because they're going to change they have to change the lightsaber lore. They have to change, how the Force works. All that stuff has to be changed. And, given that, hyperspace ramming, which means none of the space battles in the game makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
Because it has, the Starforge at the end. All they have to do to win is just put some droids into some ships and have the droids hyperspace the ship through the Starforge, and they win. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of those initial questions about how does the rewriting of the lore for Discanon affect any of the characters that they bring in that were expanded or whatever, like for example Boba Fett. In the how does it affect them in the new lore? Are they going to remain the same? Is space battles going to remain the same? How does this affect anything new or anything from Legends brought in? And that even goes to Kotor, like you said.
Yeah, so if they, remastering it is absolutely a good thing, but rewriting it is absolutely not. That would be as bad as The Last Jedi, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and
you have a super chat.
I know, I've seen it. I was typing something. All right, so let's see. So Matt G at $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate any of super chats or support you guys do, because it helps me expand my comic collection, because I have, like I said, and I admit it, I wasn't too big on comics growing up, and so I read the novels and everything. So that's why you guys are seeing me enjoy reviewing the comics on Coffee Chat, because I'm reliving everything again, but through the comics. So it's amazing. So Matt G at $2. When are your college finals? How is that going? My college finals are in not this week, but next week. So I'm almost done with the semester, and I'm so excited because now I can provide some more lore videos and all that for you guys, and more additional content as well, because it frees up tons of time. And so stay tuned. I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much for asking.
Now, here's another thought I had, though.
Okay.
The Knights of the Old Republic comics.
Uh-huh.
They're about 50 comics.
Yeah.
And there's some handbook stuff in there as well, with backgrounds and characters and some artwork and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's going to be included because it was in the other omnibuses. But the legacy comics are pretty much the same size. You're sharing your screen, by the way.
I know, it flipped over. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Now, anyway, the if this one sells well and all that, and I'm pretty sure it will, maybe they will do legacy next.
Uh-huh.
Same size and all, and probably equally popular, I think. Well, yeah, but legacy doesn't have a couple of games backing it up, but still.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say the legacy comics were bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, me neither. In fact, that's, I guess you could say that's the tail end of the lore right there before the buyout. And, we get popular characters that survived for so long, and in different situations and stuff, and we learn again about the evolution of the Sith in another way, and then a rogue Skywalker that doesn't really fit the mold that a lot of the Skywalkers created. So it's very fun. It's very fun because it's always good to see a change up and evolution in the history, and that's what that's about. It's an evolution in the history, and I don't think people realize that when they say, "Oh well," when you hear someone talking bad about legacy. Oh well, we had an emo Skywalker, and we had this, and we had that. And I'm like, think about it. We're like 120, 30 something years from Luke. And, there's like a couple of generations or so few generations in between. There's an evolution of the galaxy right there that we witnessed.
Yeah. And, sure, Cade Skywalker was a bit emo, but he sure as hell developed. And
yeah, he was.
Yeah. But you know what? I bought the the Epic Collection omnibuses for Knights of the Old Republic, and if this rumor is true about the hardcover thing, I'm gonna buy it on principle just to support it, because I said I would back in when the Last Jedi happened. I was like, I'm not gonna support Disney Star Wars anymore. I'm gonna support the EU.
Yeah.
And when I say shit like that, I do it. I mean, look at all the EU books I've been buying, right?
Yeah. Adding to your collection. Exactly. And I've lost some book. I mean, I didn't have a big collection growing up, but I tried to keep up on the universe or the galaxy as much as I could, reading and stuff. And over time, I lost it through circumstances and books and what have you and whatever. So I'm like recollecting, and which has been fun. And then again, like I said, visiting the comics, because I was never a huge comic reader growing up, has been exciting. So we have Snell, Messiah, and I don't know that denominator. Do you recognize that, Stieg?
Danish, I think.
Okay. All right. So if it is, whatever. So we have Danish or whatever, 20. Well, allow me to help fund your comic collection. And Snell Messiah, let me know that one. I'm not too familiar with that one, so thank you so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's from south of me. So he's a Scandinavian, and I'm. You know what? I'm sure he can confirm in the chat that Norwegians and Danish people are okay. The Swedes are the assholes.
Oh my God, we're going there now.
Oh yeah, it is a thing.
Okay, well, let's move on stuff. So do you think that this will initially have Disney or Disney Lucasfilm want to recreate Knights of the Old Republic in their own vision? What do you think, Stieg?
I don't think they're going to do it with the comics
Mm-hmm.
because they would have to get well, they would have to go through all of it and rewrite it, and then add new scenes and all that stuff to fit it to Disney canon, which means they would need the old artists and stuff. And I don't see that happening. I think this is a pretty much just a re-release in a proper hardcover version.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
See, Snail in the chat, he agrees with me 100%.
I have to scroll down. It's just like, okay, I'll take a look at that in a couple. But yeah, so talking about what ifs, like these characters being comics or storylines or characters or what have you, games being redone to fit the lore, the new lore, the Discanon. And we know that we got Boba Fett in this last episode of The Mandalorian. And, people shared with me about the Mandalorian script saying that, of course, Django is the foundling of Jaster. And so they're like, see, they're bringing it back into the lore. But I don't think people understand that they can't fit something like that in the lore because it doesn't fit anywhere in the context of it because they're rewriting it, which means, and what I'm getting at is that they're going to rewrite the character. And yeah, they might be there by name and by a little bit of hint of what happened, but the overall story behind is not the same. The development is not the same. And so we're just getting, and I even say this with Thrawn, we're just getting the shell of what they used to be, the development arc that got them to the point of what we loved about them in the original lore is not the same.
No. Every change has ripple effects, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if it's in some cases just a line.
Yeah.
If it includes a story point or some lore.
Yeah.
So, which is what happened with Game of Thrones, the TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not saying that to bash anything. That's not what I'm doing here. And I think people have been taking that out of context lately on, comparing, contrasting, and, and just sharing inconsistencies and what have you. I'm not bashing saying, oh, because they brought this character back in, that they're not going to be worth anything. What I'm saying is that it's not the same character because there's not the same character development that we know and love.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. If all your experiences in life are taken away and replaced, you're not going to be the same person.
Yeah, that's the growth, the character growth. And so how they got there to from the past to the present and how they got there all determines that arc and stuff. And so people may think, oh well, so and so is bashing our whatever. No, it's not. We're just sharing, hey, good. I'm glad you liked that they were brought in. It's just not going to be the same thing. So don't expect it to be the same lore.
Yeah, and it also affects the characters around them because that character has been changed and that character will treat the people around him differently as well, which will affect their character.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like what Nazo says here. Just because a character has the same name doesn't mean it's the same character.
Exactly. Yeah. You could take a sticker of the Star Wars logo and put it on horse shit. It doesn't make it Star Wars.
Well, there you go. There's a great analogy on that one. Yeah. So with this, I don't think it's going to really affect anything when it comes to Disney Lucasfilm Star Wars lore. This is just going to be another reprint, and I look forward to it. And you guys don't have it, or you're missing any of the comics within the series, just buy this.
Yeah, and you've been looking for this comic series, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you haven't gotten any of them?
Not yet. Christmas time right now. My focus is
Yeah.
on other
Well,
things.
don't get them then.
Yeah.
You're getting it. Yeah, because people are charging an arm and a leg for these things on eBay. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And if what I was gonna say, I lost my train of thought there. And I can't wait till we, decide to go back in time and review these comics. And that's something to look forward to for Coffee Chat. I think we'll be doing this for a while with, other like breaking news, maybe on Coffee Chat just to switch it up a little bit. But we'll be initially reviewing comics in the plot line in order as much as we can. So right now we are visiting the Clone Wars and through the
Actually, when we're done with the Clone Wars ones, right? Maybe we can do the Old Republic.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know a lot of people love it because of the game, and they got into the comics because of the game. And so there's a great segue right there. And hopefully by
And
then we'll be able to use this. Yeah.
and you haven't read this?
No,
Hmm.
not this one.
You're in for a treat.
Okay.
Especially if you've played the game, because these comics takes place before the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it fleshes out the background story of some of the characters in the game.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. 'Cause I'm aware of some
yeah,
of the characters, but I don't know their full extent of their arc. So
yeah,
I
and
can't.
Revan makes a little cameo as well here and there,
Okay.
and you get to see Darth Malak before he became a Darth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you get to
Right.
he pops up now and again, and you get to see his steady decline, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no, okay, let's see. Soul Assassin. No Kotor spoilers for you, OG. I am aware of the story and the arc. I just haven't fully got into it. So this is going to be fun. I look forward to this, and I have the game. I just haven't began it because I can't be dedicated to such a huge game as it is right now.
Yeah.
So I do have it.
I'd say if you play the game for the first time
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to do all the missions and all that,
Yeah.
I think it should take you 30 or 40 hours all in all.
Mm. Wow.
It's big, but it's not that big.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice chunk of lore in a game. I understand that, and it does take some time. It's not like
Oh, and the game,
uh-huh.
one of the stories that Canderous Ordo tells you
Yes,
foreshadows the Yuzon Wong.
that's right.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
he has seen a Yuzon Wong ship at the edge of the galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, that just gave me chills. I remember that. I do remember that. And and so we do have a consistent lore here. So I'm excited about this as well, and adding to my collection. So
Oh,
you guys,
and for those of you who weren't here when Laura and I did a stream about it in March, we're getting volume 1 of the it's a short story collection, EU stuff from Star Wars Insider.
yeah.
The Star Wars Insider used to have little short stories now and again,
Mm-hmm.
and they're compiling them into books. And volume 1 is out in hardcover in March, and I believe one of the short stories in it is a story about Plagueis. What's his name? Darth Tenebris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Darth
will
Vader.
be in it.
Oh yes, NSC expands more, so that goes in great. It goes basically with the Darth Plagueis, the novel, all of that time frame. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, if you guys are barely getting into the EU and discovering it, there's so many great points where you could start at. So, like, if you like Old Republic, here you go.
Yeah.
If you like the Empire age, either the birth of the Empire and stuff, or the classical era, then that would be including the OT and all the novels that are surround that. And so there you go. And then, the New Republic age has several little eras in that, going from the start of the New Republic to the New Jedi Order to Legacy. And so there's so many starting points. All you have to do is ask myself, Stieg, Ryan, Lethal, Callus, or anybody, one of us, what period you like in Star Wars and where you should start.
Yeah, I actually get messages a few times a week. People asking me, which book they should start with in the EU and stuff, and what's skippable, and so I usually give them like a list.
Yeah, there's a list to start with, and yes, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of novels to start on, but if you start in initial time frame where if you like the PT and you start with that, that's a great starting point.
Yeah, I got a Raging Rhino to read Darth Maul Shadowhunter, and he's loving the hell out of it. And
you are like pimping that novel.
Yeah, and Geek Blend started reading A Truce at Bakura.
Yeah, I seen that too. I've been following that as well. And
then Tauriel has started reading the Thrawn trilogy because he's never read that one before.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, she's into it.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. And Teresa Martin has started reviewing EU novels on her channel.
Yeah.
And she did a review of the Thrawn trilogy and the Hand of Thrawn duology just today. So if you wanna listen to that, go to her channel.
Okay, good. And I will most likely have her on the novel review of the Thrawn duology coming up here.
Oh, she loves that duology.
Yeah, she does. So I can't wait to get her on there. So stay tuned for that. So I do have a Doomacorn super sticker from Culture Casino. I'm not going to do the little sound there. I think that's a Mary thing. I don't want to take her thunder.
Something I've noticed, when people talk about, the EU novels and stuff like that. And Teresa mentioned this in her review, because back then when they came out, you didn't know unless you were reading magazines and stuff that had to do with Star Wars, right? So she just discovered them at the local bookstore or whatever it was.
Yes.
And imagine, just think about that, because it can't happen today, right? Because you get news about stuff everywhere. But imagine going to a video game store and, you look at the shelf and all of a sudden you see, hey, Knights of the Old Republic 3 has been released. That's sheer insanity, isn't it? And I think that is why a lot of people who grew up with these books and stuff are so fond of them, because whenever you found something new, you were experiencing it as it happened. And more often than not, it was a tremendously a positive experience, or rather a great positive surprise, right?
Yes, I agree.
So that's something you'll never get if you just go to Wikipedia and stuff like that.
There's so much. I mean, Wikipedia, it's good for minor researches and stuff. It's okay. Okay, so it's okay, but there's nothing like picking up that book.
Yeah.
And reading chapter by chapter the development of the story and the characters within there, expanding on the characters in there. There's nothing like that. It's so tangible. And it may not be on screen, and that's okay, because it's in your mind and you're reading it. Yeah. And it feeds your imagination. When you see something like Boba Fett and I'm just going to say this, Boba Fett on film, you get to see it happen out in front of your eyes. But the difference between reading and watching is, when reading, it expands your development, your brain development on adventure, on imagination, on what could be and stuff. It I guess you could say, it nourishes your mind to creatively think.
Yeah, it's I actually saw some research on that on Entertainment Media.
Yeah.
And this was a thorough thing because they backed everything up. The worst entertainment thing we have these days is TV.
Yeah.
especially reality TV, because you're sitting there and you're passive and
Yeah.
you're getting useless information just fed to you, right?
Yeah.
And then you had music was above that, because music usually makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had video games,
Mm-hmm.
because well, it depends on the game though, on the
Yeah.
genre, but it's when you're playing a game, you're thinking and you're doing something, and the game reacts to it, and then you react to the game. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a form of mental communication, and
Yeah. Interaction, basically.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And then books was the best, because when you're reading a book,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to translate
Yeah.
in your mind, and you have to remember what you read.
Mhm.
You have to focus,
Mhm.
right? And you're seeing everything in your mind as well. And apparently, if you read for 6 minutes straight,
Mhm.
uninterrupted, you lower your stress levels by I think it was 60% or something.
Yeah. That's
And
great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because it, you're completely focused on something that isn't stressing you out.
Yeah.
Because the world is shut out, right, completely. And yeah, it's and the more you read, the
Mhm.
better you will be at actually writing as well.
Yeah. There's a
Because
lot of
there's
components to that. Really, there is.
yeah, so books are underrated. I'm not so sure about audiobooks though, but who knows? But
Yeah, audiobooks, you do get to listen, you do get to you're not actually seeing it, so you have to see it in your mind in a sense. So in a sense, yeah, it may fall between those two lines. Um, you know, just like when we listen to music, we get and like we all grew up with music that um we listened to it and we were like, oh, I remember when I was a teenager and this song came on and I was hanging out with my friends by the poolside kind of deal. So we always have that callback
yeah,
too as well.
yeah,
And
especially if it's a song you haven't heard in years, right?
exactly. Yep. And so I think it's kind of in between that, but like reading because my culture we were oral. So we passed down, history and stuff. My ancestors did. And then we also, wrote or put it down on art called Winter Counts. And so there's something about talking and telling a story or reading about a story that enhances the mind, the neurological firing the neurons and stuff in the mind than sitting and watching in a sense. So
Yeah, it's there's a great quote from the first Game of Thrones book, where
mhm,
Tyrion the dwarf
yeah.
tells Jon Snow that uh, a book is like a whetstone for the mind, because it sharpens it,
Yeah.
and that's true.
That's amazing. I like that. I like that so much. So we have one of my channel members, Jedi Padawan Trela. Hello, hello, hello. My intro to the EU was when I saw the big announcement of Heir to the Empire in one of those book club magazines my mom used to get in the mail. Awesome. There we
Yeah,
go.
you have some super chats too from Culture Casino.
Oh yeah, I read. I think I got both. Oh, I missed one. I think. So this is the one I missed. Okay, so Culture Casino at $4.99. Throwing love from an airport. Buy this. Also, hi Stig and Alora. Hail chat. Thank you so much for listening while you are traveling. I hope you travel well. If you're still listening and you're getting this message, I hope you travel well and you get home safe or to your destination safely. Thank you so much for your support as well. Soul Assassin, separate genre, but I want to ask Stig, which is better to read, the Conan books or the comics?
Well, I grew up on the comics,
Yeah.
the old black and white ones.
Mhm.
It was called the Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah.
They were completely awesome. Uh,
Mhm.
10 out of 10. But there's also the novels that are written by Robert E. Howard, who created Conan, actually 30 years before the Lord of the Rings. So
Hmm.
Conan predates the Lord of the Rings in terms of
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
and there's a couple of good ones written by Robert Jordan, who later
Mhm.
went on to write the Wheel of Time series,
Yeah.
which is a Game of Thrones-ish epic fantasy series that it's 14 books. Actually, read that one too. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything Conan except for the new stuff seems to be a bit I don't know. It's not my cup of tea though, but it's not terrible either.
Yeah.
But black and white Savage Sword of Conan.
Mhm.
That's my
You have attachment to it, basically. You like it.
oh yes, it's in my DNA. I mean, I swing an axe at people every day just because of that.
All right, now Messiah. Books will always be superior to comics and movies, except for The Hobbit. I like the movie more. Fight me. Well, everybody has
Ah,
their own thing, so
no,
that's good.
I like the movies as well, but I'll admit freely that those movies are not as good as the Lord of the Rings. In terms of how they're made and all.
Hmm.
But I still like them. They look gorgeous on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and the actors are splendid. But I also understand why people a lot of people don't like them.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna attack people for not liking those
Yeah.
because it's
Everybody has their own taste in what they like, and even we can't even agree on a character. Well, maybe we can, but like overall, we all have our favorite character in Star Wars.
yeah.
And we may think one is more superior than the other, so we may not agree wholeheartedly on who's the best because we all have our own our own experience with Star Wars to
Yeah,
why.
it's every character in Star Wars, well, in the old Star Wars, brings something to the
Mhm.
table.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I agree.
if
And
you if if you think about the Last Jedi,
uh-huh.
you could actually remove all of the Rose Tico scenes,
Hmm.
and the movie will end the same.
Yeah.
You
Here you
know,
go.
and arguably the Rose Tico, the actress who played her was probably one of the best actors in the movie.
Yeah. So not my Star Wars, and he's talking to someone else, but I just want to point this out since you're like a huge Shadowhunter enthusiast. Darth Maul Shadowhunter audiobook is amazing. It really submerges you into the story.
Yes, it does. It you know. I've read probably 80 something Star Wars novels, and that one actually stands out. And it's just a standalone Darth Maul story, right?
Yeah.
Or rather, it's not just Darth Maul. The main character is actually a female Jedi.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, that's, in my opinion, is one of the best Star Wars books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's completely well. It's perfectly written for that story, right? To
Yeah.
be told.
Mm-hmm.
So read it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the cover here of the Knights of the Old Republic announcement, and we see the yellow or the gold saber, whatever color you want to say it is, and it makes me think. We know that in established lore, yellow most likely meant Sentinels. It doesn't necessarily mean Sentinels, and any of the little factions that follow within Sentinels, like spies and all that. And then I think about like what's being introduced in the new lore, especially with their main character protagonist Rey and having that yellow lightsaber, and if that really holds true now to the lore of what the yellow saber was supposed to be. you
Well,
know
Zane Carrick, who's the
Mhm.
main guy in this one,
Yes.
uh, he um, he is the opposite of Ray
Yeah.
because he's a terrible Jedi, and he only survives because he is a terrible one.
Yes.
And all through the story, he gets a little bit better, but he's really weak in the Force.
Hmm.
and he basically I'd say he ends up being more like a good-natured mercenary almost. Yeah, a criminal mercenary with some force ability.
Yeah, exactly. So he probably barely met the qualifications to be a Jedi, because there are qualifications in order to go in and train. And that's like with Corran Horn, I think, too, as well, in the new Jedi Order under Luke, is that he doesn't have the skills for telekinesis.
Yeah, and this guy, every time he runs into one of the you know enemies that uses a lightsaber, he more often than not has to run away because he is outmatched.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. This guy takes a beating through this series. The what was it? It's not Echani, but something else. It started with A. It's a white-skinned, white-haired lady he travels with, Jarrell. She beats the shit out of him all the time. And yeah.
And that's what I like about Star Wars, is that we get to see the different strengths in Force users or Jedi, and because people have this thought that everybody has to have the same skill or power or level or whatever you want to call it. I would say skill, and in the original lore, that's not a thing at all.
Yeah, they stress it in the Kyle Katarn games.
Yes,
because Kyle says to Jaden Core that it's not about how strong you are in a skill and stuff. It's how you use them.
Yeah,
and that ties into the dark side as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll go back to like like Corran Horn and his family, because his son inherited his lack of telekinesis skill. And so it's not what you're lacking, it's how you use what you are gifted with within the Force, and how well you're trained and how well you use it. And I really, really like that, because not everybody has the same, not everybody's a healer either. And even if you're a healer, sometimes you can only heal someone else and not yourself, or vice versa. Or sometimes you're are gifted with the healing, like Seagull is, or what's her name, Seagull or Seagull or whatever her name is, in the New Jedi Order under Luke. And then we have Barrett's Alfie too, that was a healer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't think there's any force healing though in this one. No, there's no force healing in this one. I read through this one, all 3 volumes, a little while ago.
Yeah.
But the thing about this one though is the main story kind of ends about 3/4 through the story, and then there's some wrap-up comics afterwards, which weren't that good. But the main story, when it reaches its conclusion, is tremendously well written, because there's foreshadowing all through the story.
Yeah.
So at the end you'll go, oh shit, that's this makes perfect sense, right? On many levels, and that's I'd give this whole comic series a rock solid 8 out of 10.
Okay. Nice. I can't wait.
But it's different though. It's not like Legacy or the Clone Wars comics or anything like that. It's different, and it has more humor as well. It's dark as shit at times, but it still has humor.
Yeah, and it's not tacky humor, right? It's not tacky humor.
No. It's it fits perfectly with the characters, but and that is something George Lucas did too.
Yeah.
Even though if there were dark things happening, there was still a little bit of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that as well. And Riff Magos, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it so, so much. After my semester is done, I'll probably have a special video out for all the members, and or maybe a live stream for the members only, just to catch up and discuss, and maybe share any of the new information or new comics and stuff, and collectibles I have received, kind of deal and stuff. So I'm trying to plan something special for my members, since I haven't been able to do anything just yet. So stay tuned. Thank you so, so much. You are appreciated.
Yeah. Oh, and
Oh, he did rejoin. Okay, that's right. He rejoined. Thank you again for rejoining. But again, there's my announcement.
yeah, and if you're on Twitter and stuff, please retweet this bit of news. I retweeted it myself just I don't know, an hour ago. But spread the word, right?
Yeah.
This is a good thing. We're actually getting some. Well, it's a re-release, but still, we have to take that as a good thing, because it is, and it's not a shitty release either. It's a full-blown hardcover.
Yeah.
So we need to we're not in a position where we can just pick and choose anymore. We just have to take whatever they toss our way.
Mm-hmm. Man, that sounds so pitiful, like they're throwing scraps to the dog.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. But if you're an EU fan and all that, that's where we are right now. So we have to we have to make sure that Disney knows it, that every time they dish out some EU stuff, it's working.
Yeah, that's true. And we gotta, there's that adage that's always been said within the larger community, is speak with your money on what you like, the content you like. Well,
I'm currently when I get the last books I ordered, I'll be 8 books away from a complete EU novel collection.
Nice.
So I've been putting my money where my mouth is for 2 years now. And well, to be fair, I don't have the Young Jedi Knights novels, but they're not listed on that EU novel list.
No, they're young readers editions, but they're really, really good. I have the collection.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy them. It's but it's down a bit further down the line.
Yeah, you have other priorities first. So that guy says at O.G.Starwars, if you have a great or if you have or get an PO box, I'd be happy to donate a bunch of doubles from Star Wars comics collection. Oh, okay. I haven't had a chance to do that, and since we went down on lockdown and all this stuff, I just haven't really taken care of that either. But I will announce it and put it on my channel. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is amazing. You are amazing. How do you guys feel about the force healing is a thing in the EU? The Jedi Academy books, there is a lady who teaches healing techniques at Luke's temple. Yes.
Well, my opinion is that in the EU it was rare.
Yes, it was.
Except for in the video games, but in the video games it was used as a game mechanic to keep you from dying, basically. So that's different. But in the EU, force healing and stuff, it was never instant, because we saw that in the Outlander comic. Ki-Adi-Mundi healed his broken arm and basically just mended the bone a bit, but it still had to heal by itself.
Yeah.
So it's rare. It has to be and it's a talent. Not everyone can do it.
Yeah, it's a skill.
It's just a few that could do it, and they needed to train quite a bit. And
there's varying levels within that too. Like I said, like Seagull or whatever from Luke's New Jedi Order, and I think that's who you're talking about.
And Barriss.
Barriss
was a healer.
Yeah, she was like Seagull too, is that they were very gifted. And, like Luke, when he was healing Mara in the Thrawn duology, Visions of the Future, he had to put her in a healing trance and stuff, and he had to go in a trance with her, in a sense. And then if he healed himself, he afterwards wasn't able to get up and just go do things. He had to, kind of, fuel his body and stuff like that. So it's really, really fleshed out in the original lore, not like how we've seen it in the new lore.
Yeah, and the new lore, they just get it just as a plot point almost.
Yeah.
They just get it out of the blue. Oh, your force heal saved him. Okay, where did you learn the force heal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then not my Star Wars. That's what makes Yoda, Mace, and etc. so special. The typical Jedi of the thousands used to be were pretty average. Some were young, some used the Force is in rare ways, and that's probably what he means. And all around badass was rare. Yeah, it was. So, and even between Mace and Yoda and those masters that earned their way up, they still had various degree of skill level too. Yeah. They weren't the same. So they weren't the same. Let's see here. And then,
someone say the Mandalorians were brutal in this comic.
Yeah.
Hell to the yes.
Yes.
They even do experiments on people.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm slowly going through everything. Let me see here. Let's see. Yep, agreed. Let's see here. Soul Assassin, 1,000+ pages, more like a steak than scraps. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's 1,300 pages, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like 13 something. Yeah. So I'm excited for it.
1344. You know what? The comic itself is probably shorter, but they did have handbooks and stuff in it as well about the characters, and there was a really cool bit about the ships. So you could see like everything about the ship and what it looked like on the inside. It was almost like a little isometric map.
Yeah.
Oh, and between some of the comics, you got the you got a page of the galactic news. So news headlines and little articles.
Yes.
That had to do with what had happened in the previous comics and stuff.
Yeah.
The Mandalorians have attacked this and that moon and stuff like that. That was awesome. It didn't need to be there at all, but I thought it was. I thought it greatly enhanced the whole, package, because, it added to the fact that this is supposed to feel like a real galaxy and stuff.
Yeah, I get that. And then the Sentinel, the most powerful Jedi healer I've ever known was Cade Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used the dark side, I think.
Yeah, he basically learned what Anakin wanted to learn.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fun, a little bit ironic in a sense, because his ancestor wanted that ability and yet could never, and he was the chosen one. And it's for the story and stuff. So I think it's very interesting that we see like I said, we see the evolution of the Skywalkers, and finally someone realizing, someone, really getting into even what Darth Plagueis and maybe Palpatine wanted.
Yeah, and Cade couldn't. He couldn't teach it to people because he didn't quite understand what he was doing. It was more like rage based.
Yeah, like fear and rage. He used like those emotions, those fear and rage, and and all that. But there's one point where they said, he was told to use, try to go more of light, positive feelings and stuff, which he did. And but he never quite understood, even like you said, how exactly to harness. And I think that was a good writing point to that, because then it shows that ability still is unknown and not really attainable either. So it doesn't hurt, like Anakin's story as well. That's how I see it. I don't know if you see it that way. So let's see here. Yeah, exactly. So this is the news that, we wanted to go ahead and announce. Stig's like, let's do it. And I'm like, okay. So I got myself put together as much as I could. and ready for this, and keep an eye out for it. I'm going to do a little bit more research and, share some links and stuff, and keep an eye out for a pre-order kind of deal. I think if we're going to get this, there is going to be a link of pre-order. Knights of the Old Republic is very, very popular with the fans, very popular. And so, I believe that there will be a pre-order link and stuff. And I think this is going to be very, very, very successful, if anything. And when you look at it, sometimes things are not released unless they're sure that it's going to sell. And this is going to sell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to sell. I'm, like I said, I'm hoping they do this with other comic series too. I would absolutely like a collected Tales of the Jedi.
Okay. Yeah.
You could read about Nomi Sunrider and Keldroma and all those.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, from back where lightsabers had a power pack and a cord.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Like I said, there's evolution. We see evolution going on in here. And it's magnificent. Just get into the lore. No matter what you like or dislike, get into it. At least read, even if you decide, oh, I don't want to go back and revisit this part of the lore or this novel or whatever. At least you learned something from it and you can link things together. And that guy says, I used to think Republic Commandos, the game, was badass until I read the 4 novels. They were even more badass. Yeah.
And that's Karen Travis who wrote those. Got screwed over by Dave Filoni, so she quit.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go, right here. We're not going to get too much in the dynamics of that. We'll continue to share. And like I said, share what you like and don't like about Star Wars, whether it's the original lore, George Lucas's era, Star Wars, or the new.
Sentinel. It's been released. The Dark Times comics are in the Empire Epic Collection omnibuses.
Okay.
So they've been released, and the Republic ones. That's the one you and I are doing, Alora.
We're doing that.
The Clone Wars. So they've been released as well. But hopefully they get the same treatment as this, though, so you get it in hardcover.
Yeah, exactly.
The only one that hasn't been released yet, and this annoys me, it's the Crimson Empire comics. About the the Imperial Guards.
Yeah.
They that's not been in an omnibus yet.
Yeah.
So I want it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see that in the future. I know there was an announcement that, Marvel, who's doing these republishing or reprintings of like Dark Horses and stuff as well in the collections, that, some of the projects were pushed, back a little bit, and the thing is like, I've heard rumors and stuff about the comics, are not very popular that much anymore. And so that might be the case. But when you start buying and purchasing these and showing them that you want this, they are going to go ahead and reprint the collection.
Yeah. They just released volume 1 of the Dawn of the Jedi omnibus, which I'm going to buy this week. And then in March, we're getting, I think it's the New Republic volume 5.
Yeah.
Which contains all of the Dark Empire comics in one omnibus.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure what comes after that because they haven't. It's not been updated. The site that shows all of them, which is a little bit troublesome, actually.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this at the top of the hour now. We're coming to the hour. I do have some stuff to take care of as well. But yeah, we thought that we'd get this information out to you about this this breaking news. And I will continue to, and Stig as well, will continue to share information about that as it develops. And so stay tuned. Keep an eye out for it. Once there is an information on pre-order, then I would say go do it. Do it.
Yeah. I think if once there's a pre-order, I'm guessing we will probably put that up in one of the coffee chats, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll do the announcement and stuff. And hopefully by tomorrow, maybe we'll have a link. You never know. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., coffee chat. So we're doing what? Ayla Sakura. And what was the next one after that one?
I think it was the next Quinlan Voss.
Yeah, it's the next Quinlan Voss. I just don't have the title in front
Actually,
of me.
I think it was called Count Dooku.
Was it?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't have it in front of me. I'm not on my laptop. So, but anyways, we're reviewing the two comics that are next in line with the story that we've been, the comics that we've been doing. So we will be discussing that. And if I have a pre-order link or any more information on this breaking news, then we will also discuss that as well in between the two comics. And so stay tuned, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, Pacific Standard Time on my channel. And, who doesn't love Ayla Sakura, so we get to read a little bit more about what's going on with her since the last time we've seen her in the comics that we've been reviewing. So
there's another one as well that hasn't been in there for a while that shows up.
Okay.
Someone who collects lightsabers.
Yes, I can't wait to see that too. I know I've seen that.
Spoiler, we get a cat fight.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So you guys stay tuned for that. And the Friday night, I forgot about it Sunday because it was such a crazy busy day and night. But I will do my fan film watch party. And so stay tuned for that. And so that will be that evening, probably about 6 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time. I will have all the information on Twitter, and then I'll share it here on my community portion of my channel on what we're going to review and all that. I haven't fully decided yet. I have a couple that I want to go ahead and have us watch and discuss. But they're Star Wars fan films from George Lucas's era.
Oh, and on January the 7th, I think, there's a book club again.
Yes.
And we will be talking about the Hand of Thrawn duology. So if you want to participate in that and all that, you have 6 weeks to read 2 books then, I guess.
Yeah, and they're pretty good. I would say listen to Audible, but they're abridged, so some details are left out. But pick up the books, follow along. If you haven't read them in a while, just revisit them. If you haven't read them at all, pick them up. They're a good read as well. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this. So, Stig, tell us where we can find you.
Here.
Yeah. And that's it.
And on Sporking's channel on Mondays for the we're doing the chapter by chapter Game of Thrones books, or rather it's called The Song of Ice and Fire. That's the name of the book series. So we just started book 2.
All right.
So
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and I'm on Culture Casino's channel on most Mondays where we're talking about pop culture news and stuff. But
nice.
Yeah.
All right. So those where you could find Stig as well. He does have his channel, which basically he says a hobby, and I think because it's a hobby and stuff, it's very entertaining and fun. So if you ever need to watch something that you want to giggle at or any type of humor, I mean, go watch. And he does
I have the whole Star Wars Droids cartoon show on it, and all of the Ewoks cartoons from the 80s. I don't know how I got away with it, but it's there. So
I try that. I'll probably get banned, or not banned. I'll probably get copyright strike and stuff.
Yeah, and fun thing though, I actually keep getting people keep telling me that they were really happy about that because they swing by my channel and watch some episodes of that before they fall asleep.
Wow, that's good. See, you're contributing to some positivity in people's lives before bedtime.
Yep.
So thank you so much. And everyone in the chat, thank you so much for coming in and listening to the breaking news. We will continue to give you more information about that. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. And yeah, it's already Wednesday. Sheesh. It's just, yeah, tomorrow morning we'll see you on Coffee Chat. So get your favorite coffee or beverage ready. Maybe, grab your lunch or wherever you are in America or in the world and sit down and enjoy our review of the comics. We look forward to this with you every Thursday morning. So thank you again. And you guys have a great day. May the force be with you.
Take care and be well.